is distinguished Nigerian who has a rare combination of integrity, politeness, firmness, flexibility, but when it comes to the issue of Nigeria moving forward, very uncompromising. I present to you, first, live on nationwide network, Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Channels Television, in his very first public outing on live electronic media, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture.
Thank you very much. For one, this is my first official outing as Minister of Information and Culture. Even though I impersonated the President this morning in an earlier occasion. Secondly, the theme of this year's edition of the annual lecture series, Managing Change in a Democracy, Nigerian Situation, could not have been more apt. As you are all aware, the Buhari administration came into office on the platform of change. Thirdly, the organizers of this lecture series, the Frcn, have a key role to play in the implementation of this administration's change agenda. The uniqueness of the Frcn, due to its wide reach, more than any other radio station in Nigeria, has further accentuated its role in the change mantra. I must say, however, that it is not just the Frcn, but the entire Nigerian media, both public and private, that have a role to play in this regard. The role of the media in the change agenda is a natural one. As long as the media plays the role assigned to it in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because according to Chapter 2, Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution, and I quote, "The press, radio, television, and other agencies of the mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter and uphold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people," unquote. In other words, the press shall be a watchdog over the activities and excesses of government, and shall ensure that government delivers its promises to the people. If the media play this role consistently and responsibly, they would have keyed into the change agenda without any prompting. It is important for the media to know that they must take sides when the issue at hand has to do with Nigeria. Never must they sit on the fence when the issue has to do with the country's well-being, its territorial integrity, and good governance. This means that at all times, the media must champion the cause of good governance for the benefit of all Nigerians. The media should be the ombudsman, the voice of the voiceless, the gatekeeper, and the agenda setter. That's a lot of responsibility. But then, the Nigerian media have proved time and again that they are up to the task. They played a front-line role in rescuing Nigeria from the claws of colonialism. They stood by the people in the dark days of military dictatorship, and they've also put successive elected governments on their toes to ensure that they deliver the dividends of democracy. There's no better time than now for the media to become the champion of change. The media must complement the efforts of the ordinary Nigerians who voted for change by keeping the people well informed of the change agenda and the efforts of the government to turn the fortunes of the country around for good, while also giving the government the necessary feedback from the people. It is important for the media to be passionate, committed advocates, especially in the war against corruption and insecurity. In line with the change agenda, the media must reflect the renewed vigor, the change in the method, and the total commitment of the Buhari administration to the fight against terrorism and corruption. They must also reflect the efforts being made by this government to diversify the economy, create jobs, and upgrade infrastructure. As I said at the beginning of this address, the Frcn has a key role to play in the implementation of the change agenda. Radio is undoubtedly the most powerful medium of communication, especially if one wants to reach the mass of our people, most of whom reside in the rural areas. Radio does not suffer the same limitations as television, print media, or even the social media. Whereas not everyone has access to television, almost everyone has access to radio, either at home, in the office, in the car, or on the road. Almost every mobile telephone set today has a radio. Whereas you might not be able to watch your TV without power, all you need to power your radio is battery. Whereas you need to have access to the internet to use the social media, there is no such inhibition with radio. Leveraging on this tremendous power, therefore, the Frcn, as national broadcaster, must partner with the federal government to propagate the change agenda in such a way that Nigerians will not just own it, but will like it and live it. I look forward to a time when I will hear more creative jingles on the various Frcn stations on the fight against corruption and the war on terrorism. I look forward to a time that the various Frcn stations will have more special bulletins to keep Nigerians abreast of the implementation of the change agenda. I hope the Frcn will take up this challenge. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for listening.
Our very distinguished Honorable Minister of Information and Culture. And where would it have been better to start his first public speech? It's on Frcn. You must clap again for Frcn, won't you?